It's 30 years old. Ever since the ActMan video, I've been watching a ton of I Hate Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and I just wanted to show you this one. If you can watch 5 minutes. Really? So the interesting thing is, let's see. Who the fuck is this? Emperor John Kill 3D. Okay. Farva's not 37. He's not older than me. So what I was going to say is the interesting thing is, chat. The interesting thing is not that just MBT responded to the ActMan, and I feel like actually kind of destroyed his video, even if I didn't agree with every single thing. It's that if I'm not mistaken, Farfa actually responded as well. And I feel like there's kind of been a rebellion against the ActMan's video. Again, chat, I don't know who the ActMan is, or I didn't know. I still don't really know who he is. I didn't really know of his video, so I didn't really care, or it wasn't a big thing to me. But I was proud that the Yu-Gi-Oh community kind of stood up for itself. I thought you were 42. I'm not that old. Emperor John Moore, $1 reacts. I mean, we got to do what we got to do to survive, chat. So, anyways. Okay, we got Doom intro. Dude, I need to get that Doom. It looks so fun. Oh, Farfa interviewed ActMan. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I know he did a video related to ActMan, so I assumed that it was like MBT's. Okay, excuse me, Chad. I apologize. I thought, what's it called? ActMan probably doesn't give a shit. Are we still at ActMan drama? I mean, I was never there. I didn't really care any. Like, again, I didn't know who ActMan was until that video, or until people made a big deal about it. If you type Yu-Gi-Oh sucks, you see a lot of vids. Farfa didn't argue. It was more of a giving ActMan a chance to explain himself after the video.
What's up, everybody? Emperor John Kill 3D Gaming here, and I only make this video because I grew up and loved this series, this card game, everything about it. I fell in love with. So this video.
But before we watch this, chat, why do you guys think he's going to say he hates Yu-Gi-Oh and Yu-Gi-Oh sucks now and won't get better? If there's only one thing that I'll consider acceptable. But if he complains about cards are too expensive now, I don't consider that acceptable, because like literally everything gets reprinted. We are not Magic. There is no sacred Yu-Gi-Oh card. Ash Blossom has been printed a dozen times now. Can't T-set pass. Let's see. There's no more vanillas. Special summon combo. It's too complicated. It's not like the show. First turn win. I would say if his problem is power creep and its inevitability in Yu-Gi-Oh and it being kind of unsolvable, that's like the only thing that I'll consider acceptable. Because like power creep is how Konami makes their money. It just is. Like, yeah, we got it.
Video is an act of harsh love.
Okay.
What do you mean by that? Well, I'm going to boldly say it. Modern Yu-Gi-Oh fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. Okay? And some of you are saying, heresy. How can this be? John, how dare you? Blah, 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 blah. No, for a fact, modern Yu-Gi-Oh sucks. And let me tell you why. The power creep. The amount of unrealistic strategies that are now developed. And the over-complexity of a once simple game.
Okay,
let me explain.
Okay. I think he gave 3 examples. One of them's legitimate. I don't know if the other 2 are. Because, like, if you told me, chat, is Fluunderies too complicated as a strategy? Like, I don't think so. Like, the only one that's too complicated is, like, tier element mirror matches. That's, like, complicated to the point where it's, like, it's actually not fun to watch. Like, at all. But, like, Fluunder is not too complicated. It's just like normal summon, search, tribute summon. Like that's not too complicated. Like hold on, let me think. Is Sword Soul too complicated? No. If Sword Soul came out in 5Ds, I mean it would have been like way more broken than it, but like it would have fit. You know what I mean? But like Sword Soul's not too complicated. Flu's not too complicated. Runic is not too. I mean, you could argue Runic's trying to drive in the other direction while all the other cards are trying to go that way. What's another kind of like? Even Branded Despia at its core is not really too complicated. It's just fucking fusion summoning. Trap Tricks is no Kashtira is not too complicated. I mean, it banishes, but like no, the actual like playing Kashtira doesn't seem that complicated at all. You know what I mean? Sprite. Hell, I fucking learned Sprite. So you know Sprite's not complicated if I learned it.
Why is a card game like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon able to innovate their card game without having to destroy what made their series and card game great to begin with?
Set rotation. That's why.
Everything past original Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! GX fucking blows. Yes.
All right, bro. Now you lost me. Now you lost me. If you're saying 5Ds in Zexal were like bad air, you've already lost me. You've already if you're saying that like those formats, those entire 3-year eras were not fun, like you already lost me. Yeah, this is too boomer. And also, when I hear people say this, I don't think these people actually played in DM chat. Like, I gotta be honest, I would say that 90% of people who like think about DM, like they didn't play in DM because they were all like 5 years old and you didn't actually play the game. You had a copy of like Red Eyes and a Kaiba structure deck and you went the locals like twice, but you didn't like play competitively. You didn't play like Chaos Control or GOAT format. You know what I mean? So like, cause they're not actually old enough. And I'm not saying that to like put young people down, but if you were like someone like Cells' age, your Cells, what are you, 23? In 2002, you were like 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? You're not old enough to play in GOAT format. So like these people who talk about DM chat, you just remember the anime. You didn't actually play the game, or you didn't play the game competitively. So that would only kind of leave GX. I'm 23 in September. Exactly. So that would mean in 2004, you were 4 years old? Like, yeah, you probably watched the show, but these be the people who were like, yo, DM was the best era ever. Like, bro, you were like 3 years old. Like, what the fuck do you know? Anyways.
5Ds blows. Zexal blows. These fucking Pendulum and Link things blow. And don't get me wrong, there is some good ideas, but very rarely do these ideas work.
1-year-old duelist.
I've played a couple of Link cards, and I played a couple of these XYZ cards.
All right, here's my second problem with this. So now it also comes off as I thought usually people like this quit at like Arc V, but it sounds like you didn't even play through Zexal. I've played a couple of these XC card things. Like, this is making me roll my eyes. This is making me think like you quit Yu-Gi-Oh! In like 2008. You haven't played the game in 15 years. So like, why are you suddenly talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Now? Like, I don't know. I mean, I still to this day think, chat, that XC is like the best mechanic in terms of practicality. Am I wrong, chat? Am I wrong? Like, I think XC is like the most natural mechanic ever in Yu-Gi-Oh! Take two monsters of the same level, stack them on top of each other. Like, there's just years in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where it's like, damn, I got 2 level 4s. I can't do shit with this. Wait, now we have a mechanic. I can do that. I can do something with it. Like, XC is so practical. And then with XC monsters, usually they have 2 materials. So you only get to use the effect twice. That's it. After that, XC monsters kind of suck without their materials. So, like, they're so practical. Like, I mean, you can hate on Pendulum. You can even hate on Link, but like I'm not hearing anyone hating on XC. XC is an amazing mechanic.
Only some of them actually fit very well with playing with the GOAT format, because here's the problem with
what?
Link cards, and I played a couple of these XYZ cards. Only some of them actually fit very well with playing with the GOAT format,
What the fuck does that even mean? I've played some links and some Xyzs. Only some of them fit very well with the playing with the GOAT format. What the fuck does that? Chat, am I dumb? Like, what does that even mean? Does that mean that those cards are supposed to be like directly integrated into GOAT, or that you should have went from GOAT to like Vrains? Like, I honestly, I have no idea what he's even like. What this even means? Changes back. But what he's saying doesn't even make sense. Like whatever point he's trying to make, chat, it's not apparent to anyone. At least it's not apparent to me. I don't understand what he's saying, because Yu-Gi-Oh didn't go from GOAT straight to like Zexal. It went to GX. Then we didn't introduce anything in GX, but it was fusions became much more apparent. We had rituals. Then we went to 5Ds. We introduced synchros. Like we slowly started introducing more stuff. And like I don't know what he's talking about, unless he's just one of those GOAT format good. Everything else bad. Sounds like he's saying that.
Got back from locals a bit ago.
Hi, PBB.
Went 3-2. Was top 8. Got 9th. This is what I played. Pretty much what I've always been on with some changes. Prosperity is extra. I'm too poor for Prosp but want to play it.
Thank you very much, Prince Blue Blood. You actually can afford Prosperity. They did. You should have bought it when it got reprinted. That's what I bought. That's when I bought him. He thinks GOAT format is the greatest of all time. I get that, but the problem is, like, if you think GOAT format is like the greatest format of all time and you love how slow Yu-Gi-Oh is, then just play GOAT format. Like, why are you even speaking about new Yu-Gi-Oh? And furthermore, if you want something like, if I will not stand by this, chat. People who like just play GOAT format and they're like, oh, anything that got fast is terrible. If you look at the beginning of Zexal, chat, again, what if we said in this stream about battle traps, chat? If you can play battle traps in a format, it's probably not the fastest format ever, right? If you can actually play in meta decks, chat, cards like Dimensional Prison. All it does is banish an attacking monster. That was like a staple card in early Zexal. Go play March 2012 or September 2011. You know what I mean? After edit, like you'll see people playing like freaking D Prison. You'll see people playing Mirror Force. Like they played those cards, and that's in Zexal era. So like it wasn't just, oh, I go first, I win. People were ending on Lagia set to pass. That's not an unbreakable board, chat. It isn't. Unless you got your hand looped by windups, like, you know, there weren't insane combos. There weren't a ton of Omni Negates. And sectors, windups, they couldn't make Omni Negates TG stun. Like, anyways.
Because here's the problem with Yu-Gi-Oh!
How do you out Lagia set 2? Set Snowman Eater. Some of you need to watch my video on Snowman Eater. If your opponent has Lagia plus like Bottomless Trap Hole and Lance, set Snowman Eater. How do you out that? Lagia attack face down, cool. Pop Lagia. There you go. You know what I mean? Like easy. Just set Snowman Eater. Or you can just take the neg. Like Lagia attacks, you debarrier or you deprison it. Then they negate, you chain Mirror Force or you chain evac or something. Like, yeah, you might have to take a neg, but like it's not that taking a neg one is not the end of the world. Like that's just card advantage. You know what I mean? Like when card advantage like mattered a lot. Anyways, all these dweebs played shitty GX structures with a pile of commons at their dinner table and said they played Yu-Gi-Oh at the time. Why do we care what they think? Go back to Ice Spice. Thank you very much, S Neto. I do tend to agree with that, chat. That people like this, they tend to let nostalgia kind of take over. And again, I question if these people played. Because I can speak to this, chat. I can literally go on Pojo and show you guys my first regional deck from 2006. It's Dark World. I went 6-2 at my regionals. I can show you guys the deck. That's playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitively. I question, like, okay, did this guy just play Flame Wingman Turbo at locals? Like, you're not playing competitively. You're that 5-year-old kid who goes X7 every week or X3. That's not playing the game competitively. Anyways, We'll listen to a couple more minutes.
They never truly gave the original the support that it needed to be able to.
What? All they do is support DM. Didn't we just have a Dark Magician set in Battle of Chaos? What? They never gave the original support that it needed. Okay, if he's talking about DM, it had 3 years. That's how long Yu-Gi-Oh! Eras last. I don't get this argument.
To compete nowadays, because in Magic the Gathering and in Pokemon, you could play with cards from fucking Genki cards from the GOAT formats of those and actually be able to compete with somebody. Yu-Gi-Oh's got to the point where it's like, what if somebody took a break for 10 to 20 years and they want to come back and they play with the GOAT format, which is the superior and best format of the game?
Oh my God, this video is so fucking stupid. So if someone took a 10, he's lying about Pokemon. So if someone took a 10 or 20, oh my God, you took a 20-year break. You expect your game to be able to just be able to play a deck from when you played 20 years ago and then just instantly start topping with that same deck. Can I get a Kiba in the chat? Because I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about. Like he literally, okay. When you're saying that's cap, I thought you meant that's like me. You're saying that's a lie. Okay, because I'm like, dude, I don't say that. Like, I would never expect to be like, why can't I play? Didn't I tell you guys, chat, that my first like deck that I ever did super well at locals was like Fire Princess Burn. You know what I mean? I would never expect to like quit Yu-Gi-Oh! For 20 years and then come back and be like, why can't my Fire Princess Burn deck beat these meta decks? Like, the fuck? What card game can you do that in? Like, no, you're going to have to like somewhat switch. Now, you might be able to run some of the old cards from that era of DM. Like, I mean, people play Regeki right now, chat. People play Dark Hole right now. Those are cards that came out in LOB, by the way. But this whole idea that you can't take a deck 100% how you played it from 2005 and win a YCS with it in 2023, 18 years later, I feel like that's just moronic. I don't know what else to fucking say. Book of Moon. That's a Pharaonic Guardian card. That's also from DM. I mean, there are tons of DM cards that see play. And some of them, like Ring of Destruction, chat, I'll ask you this right now. If Ring of Destruction never got errated, would people play it in Labyrinth right now? Yes or no? Ring of Destruction would be fucking nuts in Labyrinth, chat. It'd be insane. I'm not talking about the new ring that we have. I'm talking about old school, like, oh my God. Imagine attacking with like Lovely Labyrinth for 29 and then ringing her ass. Like, that's what we used to do, by the way, chat. No, I think you're just fucking wrong. No, I'm talking about old ring from like 2000, yeah, I think they would 100% play it. They wouldn't play it in tier format because Destruction was bad, but you're asking right this second in this meta right now where Destruction is pretty good again, I think people would play Ring again. You know what I mean? Imagine your opponent summons Unicorn and you just ring it. Better have a follow-up. Bro.
What kind of game locks you from playing more than Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh, he's just
the modern strategies and the modern archetypes. That's what ruined Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the archetypes. The creativity was stripped away. Because back then in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, even though GX brought in archetypes, those archetypes could still be competed with the OG format. Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Could, the moment the duel starts, you as a normal player lay one card, do a simple strategy. Lay a card face down or attack position. Lay down maybe a trap or a spell. The player that you're fighting can easily take a 15 to 20 minute turn, damn near summoning 5 to 6 cards on the field, and could end the duel within 2 turns and lock you out of your own deck from playing. What kind of shitty format?
I feel like he's just pulling in so many different directions, and he's not sticking to one argument. Like he's making an argument that like decks are too powerful. Plus, I'm getting floodgated. Plus, like my old like he's trying to make too many points at once, and it's not coming off as really good. Hey Jib, how you doing tonight? Jabroni opinions. I just want to play Breaker in every deck so strategic. Yo, why have I not done my Breaker the Magical Warrior video? I need to work on that, by the way. I fucking love Breaker.
To basically prevent your opponent from being able to Yu-Gi-Oh! The thing that made...
What the example he just gave wasn't very good. So, like, if you go first and you just set one card face down, chat, who's stopping you from Yu-Gi-Oh-ing? It sounds like you did, right? He's saying like, oh, I just set Magic Cylinder. Okay, but like, you could have summoned monsters. You could have done anything. You just chose to set Sakaretsu armor and pass. Like, that's not you. That's not your opponent stopping you from Yu-Gi-Oh-ing. You stopped you from Yu-Gi-Oh-ing. You could have, like, I don't know, special summoned a monster and then summoned Genzo or some shit. Like, you just didn't.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
He's talking about you. Your deck build. I mean, I'm just saying the point he's making is like, it's not a point.
Great was the tension and not being able to anticipate what your opponent's going to do. Now in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, you can anticipate everything your opponent's going to do by the type of archetype they use. You can anticipate your opponent's going to be like...
That's also not true. If you go back to like GX era and stuff like that, I can give you non-archetype decks, chat. Like T-Hero. Well, I guess T-Hero is not the greatest example. Let me think of Perfect Circle Monarchs. It's not really an archetype. Like, it's part Monarch, part Destiny Hero, part other. Like, I can anticipate what you're going to do. You know what I mean? Just because it's not an archetype. Womack, Burn, Goat. I would say Goat's a little different because you can just... Goat is a format where you truly can just throw together 40 good cards and it works. You know what I mean? So, like, I'll give you Goat, chat. Because Goat is, like, literally... You don't need a coherent strategy in Goat, chat. Would you guys agree, chat, that in Goat you can just take 40 good cards and put them in a deck and it will kind of work? Because Goat's just about card advantage for the most part. Like, it's always that entire idea of card advantage was like so prevalent in DM chat. If I have 5 bullets and you only have 4 and it's a gun duel, like I have more, like I'm at advantage because I got 5 shots to your 4. If I can take away your cards and I have more than you do, like I'm probably gonna win because there's not enough playmaking to like put lethal out there. You know, very very commonly you don't have extenders in DM. Like extenders don't exist until Cyber Dragon. Like the entire concept of extender didn't really exist. I mean specifically Goat Control as a deck. Play 6 SAMs with 3 Gateway against them. You can anticipate less now with engines and unique techs. You know what would be a good idea? Something like Farfo or MBT debating one of these guys. I disagree. I mean, I think, look, maybe if one of these guys was like really smart, Celsa, but like from just from I haven't heard good arguments. Like if you're someone who says like I quit Yu-Gi-Oh because power creep was just out of whack and decks like Tear Element and Zodiac just took it to the point of no return, I can get with that. But when you're saying like Yu-Gi-Oh got bad after GOAT format or you know Yu-Gi-Oh got bad after GX, I'm just not with that. You know what I mean? Like I haven't heard this guy make a lot of coherent arguments. He's saying like, oh, Link monsters don't work in GOAT format. My GOAT deck doesn't work in modern Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, no shit. It's 18 years old. Like, what the fuck do you expect? You know, like, what?
Okay, I'm gonna lay this card down, 7 pendulums in one go, access my whole deck, summon Exodia, the duel's over in just 2 turns. What happened to the tension? What happened to being able to be like, okay, what's my opponent going to do? Or the other player's like, yo, what is my opponent going to do? Using different spells and traps, different monsters in synchronization, no pun intended, because I think synchro summoning is also fucking stupid and sucks with their broken monsters. The problem is the power creep in the game has broken the game. Okay? I think...
This is true. He's just not conveying that point very well.
The thing Yu-Gi-Oh always needed, you needed a cap. It needed a power cap. And the problem is Yu-Gi-Oh
That's also true, but it's not how you make money. It's not the most profitable thing. No cap.
Konami never gave it a power cap. Okay? Konami made the worst decision letting power creep dominate their game. Hell, you could probably play, and I know a lot of people didn't play it. I was one of the very few, so I could speak on it. Play the actual Dungeon Dice, the board game with all the pieces. Yes, I had every single piece and thing that went to it, so I had everything for it. Hell, I would play...
Exactly. Like, the game can't... Because like, here's the thing, chat. And I even look at Pokemon. And I look at Pokemon like this guy. I look at Pokemon. Big Pimpin', you remember, I don't know if it was on your streams or something, where you were like looking at Pokemon cards, and I was like, what the fuck? A Pokemon monster has like 300 HP? That's insane. You know what I mean? I saw a Pokemon chat with like 300 HP, and like, I was like, how? Charizard was a 120, and that was like the most, that was the highest in the game, and he was like, yeah, 300 is nothing. I was like, oh, that's just mind-blowing. But like, when you look at it, chat, the Pokemon TCG came out in like 98 or something like that. Like, bro, you can't stick to the same shit when your game is 25 years old. Like, that works when you have a game like shit, is Dragon Ball still like popping, chat? Dragon Ball's probably like 6 or 7 years old. That my point is, that works when your game's like 2 or 3 years old. But when your game is decades old, chat, you're going to have to reinvent itself. Like, you're going to have to reinvent yourself. Otherwise, people get bored. No, unfortunate. Chess didn't need updates. Big Pimp W. Pokemon Power Creep is just as bad, if not worse. I mean, there you go. Like, I'll never speak to Pokemon because I don't know it, but I'll trust someone who does like talk Pokemon, like who does know Pokemon. You know what I mean? Again, if you're gonna say chess, then like press 1 if Yu-Gi-Oh should be chess, and it just should have been Yugi, Kaiba structure decks, or Kaiba structure starters, and don't release any more sets. I mean, because then you get chess, chat. Then Yu-Gi-Oh is literally chess. You release the Yugi, Kaiba structure decks, and don't release any more for no booster sets ever. No booster sets. Like, the reason chess doesn't have power creep is because there's no fucking new monsters ever released. Ever. Chess is Smash Brothers Melee, chat. Chess is GOAT format. That's what chess is. Chess is like Melee. You know what I mean? You just have to constantly figure it. No updates. You just figure shit out. Make up strategies. The structures came with chess pieces. Wait till you learn about 4D chess.
That would friends of...
Dragon Ball Super TCG is still popular. Dragon Ball... Okay, that's what I thought. I was asking, like, is Dragon Ball still popping? Because I remember when ARG was doing, like, Dragon Ball events, and it seemed like they were trying to replace Yu-Gi-Oh! With Dragon Ball. But, like, I think I told you, like, I don't ever remember, like, a Dragon Ball Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel popping. Like, where is the CMO of Dragon Ball? Where is the progression series for Dragon Ball? Who's the MBT of Dragon Ball? Like, show me that person. Maybe there is. I don't know them.
And at least in that format, it was fair. Playing modern Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't know whether you have a chance in hell or not to be able to even compete with your opponent. Okay, because to be honest, my favorite deck type, yes, I don't call them archetypes, it's my deck of choice that I use, is Gravekeepers. They're simple, but yet they're very...
Oh my god. Is this press 1 if this is literally PBB? Congrats PBB, your YouTube channel. It's literally PBB complaining about tier. Just
very effective.
I'm just joking.
Okay? Yes, my opponent can tell what I'm doing, but that depends if they have a deck that can either counter me or they could work their way through with the deck they have. And that's what made Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't know your opponent, and your opponent doesn't know you. But now, with all these archetypes, you know the kind of mess you're going to get into. You know the...
Gravekeepers is an archetype. What? It came out in Pharaonic Guardian. Is an archetype loosely based on... Actually, no, because American and Ishizu are Tomb Keepers. They are not Gravekeepers. This was played in GX, I think.
the kind of deck your opponent is gonna use.
And
it's
yeah, they do have
almost
floodgates.
in your head, you're just gonna be like, look,
The fucking core of the deck is a floodgate. It's called Necro Valley.
look. How long before this turns over? I'm probably gonna have 2 turns. He's gonna summon something outrageous and stop me from being able to play the game. Okay? And I doubt it's ever gonna get any better. The thing Yu-Gi-Oh! If I was in charge of Capcom, or not Capcom, my bad. Konami, if I was in charge of them, I would literally have Yu-Gi-Oh! Divided into eras of play. And I would be like, look, what we have now,
Okay, before he goes on, so the thing is, they've tried this before. Do you guys know what happened, chat? They've tried this at YCS's. Hold on, what's the name of it? Hold on, wasn't it called like Generation Duels or some shit like that? The reason they don't do it is because it failed. Because I think it was called Generation Duels. No one wants, because the people would come to the YCS and they would all want to play the current format, and like 5 people would be like, I'm here for Zexo era, I'm here for GX era, and it's like, cool. So 2,000 people showed up to this YCS, and 70 of them want to play Generation Duels. Less than 10%, like, it's not worth having. So like making like actually baking this into like your the way you run the game is fucking stupid. Like it's not, like, it doesn't make sense to do that, chat. Like, it honestly, people talk about this all the time, and Konami has done it sporadically. The reason that they don't continually do it is because the players have shown over and over again like they don't really support it. There you go.
we're gonna cap.
Yeah, we have Time Wizard again, but we have Time Wizard, we have Generation Duels, and PvP again. Go to YCS. I've been to YCS's, chat, and the last, since November, I've been to 2 YCS. People don't go to those events to play old formats. They just don't. It doesn't matter how much they love them or how much you love an old format. Like, people do not. They didn't go to Pasadena to play GOAT format. They didn't go to YCS Vegas to try to play Edison. Like, they just don't. So like, this idea that we're gonna break Yu-Gi-Oh into 6 different eras, like, okay, no one's gonna want to play Arc V. So like, what do you want? Why are you even doing this? Yeah, like, the best you could do is you do them at side events. That would be the smartest thing. You don't break the entire game and say, we're gonna segregate the game into 6 different pieces. You know what I mean? And then how would you even release product? Like, it's just fucking stupid. It doesn't make sense.
All the cards we currently have.
And no one plays traditional, so don't even bring that shit up. Literally no one plays traditional. Konami has had traditional format since 2004. No one plays traditional, ever.
Have. Because certain even spells and trap cards that should be able to destroy the monster, whether the monster says so or not. It's like, monsters have too much protection now to stop.
I mean, now this is a different argument, though. If you're basically saying, like, my card should work against every monster like it did, this is a bad argument. If you're saying, well, my magic cylinder can't be used against a Magic Spectre monster, so Yu-Gi-Oh! Sucks, like, that's just stupid. You know what I mean? Like, cards are going to evolve. If cards don't get protection, they don't get newer effects, they're going to suck. That's power creep innate.